ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا الكيل والميزان بالقسط لا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها وإذا قلتم فاعدلوا ولو كان ذا قربى وبعهد الله أوفوا ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تذكرون. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that do not be near the wealth of orphan except by that way, by that method which is most beautiful. And you are allowed to do that until that orphan reaches to his puberty, his maturity, his bulugh. First hukam, first instruction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that when you weighing, when you measuring, then in weight and in measuring, do justice, fulfill the rights of justice while weighing, while measuring. And then the third thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that we are not ordaining anything to anybody except according to his ability. Every human is being instructed, is being commanded, is being ordained according to his ability. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, whenever you say something, be fair. Whenever you say something, be fair. Even whatever you are saying that to or about your own relatives. Whenever you say something, you must be fair, although they can be your relatives. It can be about the relatives. It can be said to relatives. وَبِعَهْدِ اللَّهِ أَوْفُوا. And whatever covenant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, promises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have done to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fulfill them. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that these are the advices. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is advising you, so you may take some heed, you may take some lessons, you may follow them, you may obey them. So this is the second ayat from the ruku. From the previous ruku, we were talking about that, mushrikeen or their own pastors and priests, many things. They used to make it unlawful, haram, forbidden, and it was not ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept on negating, and from this ruku, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had started that now come to the common instructions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the things, they were ordained from the beginning. And these are the things, they were forbidden from the beginning. First thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the mal and wealth of yatim. Yatim is that person who is being deprived from his father before maturity, before puberty. That is yatim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about mal and wealth of yatim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us correct understanding of Quran and Sunnah. We have a jamaat in between ourselves because of their barakat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us till the day of Qiyamah. Misdaq of one sentence and one statement and one saying of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَالْقَائِلِينَ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِالْكِتَابِ وَالسُّنَّةِ كَالسَّابِقِينَ الْأَوَّلِينَ مِنَ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ وَالْأَنصَارِ. That when difficult days will come, and when we talk of difficult days, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about wealth of orphan. Ilm will protect you. And when it comes to mal and wealth, you will have to protect wealth. Everybody who owns the wealth, you will have to protect your own wealth. But if you have ilm, of Quran and Sunnah, then that ilm will protect you. In this time and age, everybody is turning to some sort of protection, some sort of assurance that my health can be protected, my progeny can be protected, my iman can be protected. Source of protection, ilm of Quran and Sunnah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us ilm of Quran and Sunnah. And when it comes to wealth, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam passing by, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that we open our eyes. Such a great pandemic we are going through, but our attitudes are not changing. We are not repenting. We are not turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is passing by. Our mother Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha, she is with. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw one grain of wheat. One grain of wheat. You know what Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Aisha, if you don't value this, then the day it will be taken away from you, it will never come back to you. If you do not value, if you do not make qadr, then when you will be deprived, then you will struggle for it. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about clothes that, oh Aisha, until you don't start patching into your clothes, they become old, and when they become old, sometimes they become torn, and then you have to patch. Until you don't start patching your clothes, do not get rid of them, do not throw them. That is what was said by Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala. And maybe at some other occasion, Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala, she was wearing, or she wanted to wear some good clothes. So she asked Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are we allowed? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yes, you are allowed to wear good clothes as long as you don't breed pride. As long as you don't breed pride. As long as you do not look down onto somebody else. When you have nice piece of garment, then you are not breeding pride. Or you are not looking down to those who are not having good clothes. If you fulfill this condition, you are allowed to. Ulama said that patch hadith sharif one, it was exclusive to the family of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when it comes to good clothes, it is for general mu'mineen, but with one condition, that you can wear good clothes, but you are not breeding pride. You are not betraying others. You are not looking down onto others. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that we should value our time, we should value our wealth, whatever we have, because maybe may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. When crisis starts, then sometimes it gets worse. It gets worse. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when that grain and that one wheat, when it will disappear, then it is not going to come back to you until you struggle. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that do not go near to the wealth of orphan. Except, and this is for the wali, this is for the in charge person, who is relative, wali, some sort of guardian onto the wealth of orphan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding him that, okay, you are in charge, you fulfill your in chargeship in a very beautiful manner. Very beautiful manner. Otherwise you are not allowed. And you can fulfill your duty until that orphan reaches to puberty, to his understanding. When he reaches to puberty, then you hand his affairs to himself. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said first. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that when you weighing things, when you measuring things, then do not be miserly. Do not do khiyanat. Fulfill the rights of amanat. That is the second thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, third thing, La nukallifu nafsan illa wusaha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that we do not ordain things which is beyond your capacity. Whatever is within your capacity, that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordain you. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you ahkam with. Sometimes we are going through difficult times. Sometimes you ponder, you reflect, you pay attention, you come to conclude that maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trusted you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trusted you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trusted you that you will come out of it successfully. In these crisis times, you will be always calling towards Kitab and Sunnah. You will be always calling, like we always share. Hazrat Ji Maulana Yusuf Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi used to say that till the day of Qiyamah, you will have to call people towards the Iman of Sahaba, towards the Amal of Sahaba, towards the qualities of Sahaba, towards the Sifat of Sahaba. No matter whatever happens onto the ground, but your point of calling people, that will be, what will be standard? Iman of Sahaba, Amal of Sahaba, Sifat of Sahaba, qualities of Sahaba. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us such that we remain obedient unto the sentence, وَالْقَائِلِينَ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِالْكِتَابِ وَالسُّنَّةِ كَالسَّابِقِينَ الْأَوَّلِينَ مِنَ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ وَالْأَنصَارِ. As long as you have that willingness that, oh Allah, keep me onto Kitab and Sunnah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you the way He had rewarded Muhajirin, Sabiqun al-Awwaluna min al-Muhajirin wal-Ansar. The way they were treated with reward, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you accordingly. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us like that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not make you mukallaf beyond your capacity. So sometimes we say that very challenging time. Who knows? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trusted you, that you will come out of it successfully and you will earn the great reward. Allah has chosen you for trying time, so we will have to do only follow one sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu. And what is that sunnah? You will see the sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu throughout his life. And what is that sunnah? Converting challenges into opportunities. Converting challenges into opportunities. That sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu is visible throughout his life. And that sunnah will be part and parcel of every true believer. Every true believer. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that whenever you say something, you must be fair. Although you will have to deal with your relatives. And whatever promises you have made it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fulfill them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you these advices, so you may take some heed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us ability to fulfill all the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah give us ilm of Quran and Sunnah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya awwal al-awwalin, ya akhir al-akhirin, ya rahim al-masakin, يا ذا القوة المتين يا ذا المن فلا يمن عليك يا ذا الطول يا ذا الجلال والإكرام لا إله إلا أنت زهر اللاجئين وجار المستجيدين ومأمن الخائفين يا مأمن الخائفين إن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب أشقياء فامحو عنا اسم الشقاء وإن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب مقطرا علينا أرزاقنا فامحو تقطير رزقنا وحرمان رزقنا واكتبنا وأثبتنا عندك سعداء ووفقنا الخير فإنك تقول في كتابك يمحو الله ما يشاء ويثبت وعنده الكتاب. اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين وأن تغفر لنا وترحمنا فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فتوفنا غير مفتونين. اللهم احفظنا من كل بلاء الدنيا وعذاب القبر وعذاب الآخرة. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان. اللهم اجعلنا من الراشدين واجعلنا من التوابين واجعلنا من المتطهرين المتطهرين واجعلنا من عبادك المخلصين المخلصين واجعلنا من الذين لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمته.